Welcome back to SB Nation, here with Jim Mora, UCLA Bruins, of course, head coach. How's the day going so far?
Day's going good. It's busy. A lot of fun.
As your vocal cords, are they shot?
No. You see, I was in the media for a couple of years, so I'm used to talking a lot.
So you've exercised that
yeah,
ability.
Yeah.
What has your impression been so far? You haven't been in Westwood too long, but what are your initial impressions after a spring of the team? What are you upbeat and positive about? What do you think needs work?
Well, a lot of things need work, but what I'm most upbeat about is just the attitude of our players, their willingness and to accept the coaching, their eagerness to be a good football team, the look in their eye every day when they come to workouts, their attitude. Just a lot of positives, a lot of positive energy, and I'm excited about that.
What have been the biggest transitions for you personally, not just in coaching a football team, but in running a college football program with so much of your experiences in the professional ranks?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's different in that, at this level as a head coach, you're the general manager as well.
Right.
You're the director of player personnel. All decisions funnel through you. Where in the NFL, you've typically got a president and general manager, a director of player personnel that you work with. So that's been a change, but it's been a fun change. And then dealing with this age group as opposed to guys that are a little bit more established as men. These guys are still developing to some point, and so you have a little bit more prominent role in their life, and I think that's fun.
One of the interesting things too is you have experience scouting football players, but now you have to scout players and convince them to come play for you, which you didn't have to do in the NFL. What has been the biggest transition with that and your experience early on recruiting?
Well, I'm fortunate because I have a great staff, and I just kind of follow their lead. But, you're dealing with not only the kid, but you're dealing with the parent.
Right.
And so you have to not only convince the kid that this is the right school for them, the right program, but you've got to convince the parent that, you know what, I'm going to take care of your kid. I'm going to make sure he gets a great education. I'm going to make sure he gets his degree. I'm going to make sure he's doing the right thing. I mean, make sure that he turns into the man that you want him to turn into. That's part of my responsibility now. And so there's just a different dynamic to it. There's more. You're much more responsible to the kid,
right,
and to the family, and I take that responsibility seriously.
And when you look at your personnel on the field, which specific position groups are you confident in going into the fall, and which are you looking forward to seeing where there can be improvement or who will step up?
I think that I feel good about our defensive line, our linebackers. I feel good about our running backs, our receivers. I think we need to improve our depth on the offensive line, the defensive line. We obviously have to identify a quarterback. I think our punter is outstanding. We have to find out who our kicker is going to be. And then, the quarterback situation is still in flux. So once we decide that, we'll be ready to roll.
What do you feel are the specific strengths of the quarterbacks competing for the starting job?
Well, I think they're all very competitive. I think they've all done a great job of learning the system. They've bought into the system. Their work ethic is outstanding. They're all team-first guys. I think that whoever wins the job will have the support of the others. I think whoever it ends up being will do a heck of a job for us.
And one of the things you stressed coming into the job is that you wanted to establish a physical running game, but you also you hired Noel Mazzoni, of course, as the offensive coordinator, whose recent history has been more wide open, the shotgun-based passing game. How do you reconcile those two ideologies without, I guess, losing focus?
Well, Noel threw the ball a lot and spread things out, but they ran the ball very, very effectively.
Yep.
And we'll run some one-back stuff, some two-back stuff, some three-back stuff. We'll run some power, some counter, some lead, some draw. We'll do whatever it takes to move the ball down the field. You don't have to be a smash-mouth football team to exhibit toughness. I think toughness is more being consistent, being able to overcome adversity, being able to handle success. And it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. It doesn't matter how we put the ball in the end zone as long as you put the ball in the end zone, whether it's running or throwing it. And that's what we intend to try to do.
What are the challenges in transitioning from a different scheme that obviously the Bruins ran last year to what you're running now?
I don't think there's been many challenges other than the terminology.
Okay.
Football is kind of football, but the verbiage, what a specific word means relative to the offense that you're running now as opposed to what it might have meant in the past. But football plays are football plays, basically. Obviously, there's some variation, but I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot of plays,
right,
and most of them are pretty similar. So
it's true.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, his name is Jim Mora, UCLA Bruins head coach. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Good luck.
Thank you.